Hey, TJ here with Bloodline Sports. This is our annual recap of the NFL season. Heading into Super Bowl next week. We're excited. We want to talk about a lot of different topics and, give you guys our input on certain things. First topic, I want to introduce, we got Nick Shiaka out in Orange County, yes, and Coach Alex from Orange High School in Orange, California. So how you guys doing?
Good.
How's the weather?
Raining
Yeah,
Rain today?
right now.
Yeah, I think the Pebble Beach get rained out today. This is Sunday.
I did not
The
see
golf
it.
tournament, I think it did. So that means more rain's coming our way in Arizona. Bummer. So we'll start off. My first question is, what is the biggest disappointment in the league, in the NFL? And I'll throw that to you, Alex.
Well, as we were talking a little before we started recording, of course, the Broncos were a major disappointment, and they did just enough about halfway through the season to tease us and make us think they had a chance. But besides that, as far as the overall league goes, I'd have to say all of the injuries to quarterbacks and stars and starting running backs, and it was obviously when you watch a game, you want to see the best talent, you want to see the best product on the field. And I think a lot of backups did great. We got the whole Joe Flacco thing, and guys like that stepped up. But to have a team not at full strength, and what did Chubb get hurt? Like the second game of the season, something like that.
Yeah,
I know it's pretty early, but I think the injuries and not seeing teams at full strength was probably my biggest disappointment.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think that we had over 50 starting quarterbacks this year, and the league has, what we have this thing called the Jordan rules for basketball. Well, obviously we have the Brady rules for football, and the NFL did everything they could do to protect the quarterbacks, and we still had 50 plus quarterbacks start this year, and out of 32 teams or 30 teams, I don't even keep track anymore how many teams there are, but why do we have that many starting quarterbacks? And I've always said that hitting a baseball is probably the hardest thing to do in all sports. I think the hardest position to play in all the sports is quarterback. And so, like, Nick, why do you think these quarterbacks are getting hurt so much? Because you can't touch them. What's going on?
Touch them. Yep. Untouchable during the week. I think my disappointment this year was not seeing Aaron Rodgers play. I really wanted to see what he's going to do this year.
Well, you have two snaps.
Two snaps. Two
Three
snaps.
counting the Achilles.
What's that?
I said 3 counting the Achilles.
Good one. Maybe it was that ashwanga stuff he's doing, or however you pronounce it. And he went into a cave for supposedly 10 days and lasted 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But I think my theory on the injuries is that nobody hits anymore. They don't hit during the week. And, it's you have to be like, it's a muscle. You have to get used to getting hit, and you endure it. Like we talked about a guy, a kickboxer that just kicks a bamboo tree with his shin and it boom, boom, boom over and over. And then he can do it, kick a guy in a fight. And it doesn't hurt him. I think the game's gotten soft. I mean, when you think about this, and when I think of how great Tom Brady is and everything he's done, I still consider him soft, right? When he comes out and says that he doesn't like the product of the league, that there's no offense, there's no hitting, you can't do this. I mean, compare Tom Brady to John Elway, to Terry Bradshaw, to, even Troy Aikman, who had maybe 9 concussions his first year in the league. Like, when Tom Brady's saying the league is soft, and I mean, there's something going on, and I don't know if it's the commissioner we're trying to get more kids to play football because a lot of kids are quitting football because of the injuries. So yeah, that would be my disappointment as well, along with the Broncos, of course. Alex and I are lifelong Bronco fans, and Nick being a Green Bay fan, which I would say that was a nice season for you, being a Packer fan.
Biggest surprise. Especially the way they started. I thought Love developed incredibly the last half of the season.
Yeah, what, 27 touchdowns and 1 interception
I believe so.
the
Yeah.
year. He was the best in the league. Yeah, it was great. So let's go to what your thoughts on the AFC NFC weekend and what should have happened, what could have happened, and then I'll start with you, Alex. Let's go with the NFC game. That was the Lions and the Niners. What did you take from that? The crazy going for the fourth down stuff.
Yeah, I know he's taken a lot of flack for it, but he did it all year. He's done it since he's been a head coach, so I think it's hard to get on him. Of course, if he makes it, he's a genius. If he doesn't, he should be fired. So I don't hold any of that against him. I mean, only thing I thought maybe questionable was taking the field goal there late. Was it the end of the first half?
First half, yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the time he should have went for it.
That was the only thing. But as far as going for it on the fourth downs, again, not gonna kill him. Like everyone who's not a Niners fan, I was hoping the Lions would win. Thought they were going to win, and it was unfortunate. Would have been great for Detroit, and it would have been fun to see those uniforms.
Four Lions fans.
Yep.
I tell you.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to coaching, we've all coached, and one of the biggest part is the situation. I get it. I agree with you that if that's what he's done, but that's also what the Chargers guy did, and he was a joke. I mean, he was fired mid-season or whatever. But what's the situation? You win this game, you're in the Super Bowl. I get that you like to go on a lot on fourth down, but there was 3 times I think he should have kicked or should have punted. I mean, the worst one I think was when he went for it deep in his own territory, when he should have just punted. At that point, I think they were up 14, and they could have been up 17 if they had kicked. But if you're up 14, in the second half, field control, get rid of it. But they were a great team to watch. I love the coach. I think he's awesome. But I think when it comes down to the situation, it's easy to hit and run in game 40 or even a safety squeeze in game 40 of the regular season. But if it's the 7th game of the World Series, do you do it? I mean, that's my take on it, is like the situational part, or if maybe you should do it in game 7 and you didn't do it all year. That's the big problem.
Well, my deal is you don't change how you play in the playoffs necessarily. I don't think you should change how you coach or how you approach it. I think you're trying to win game 40 and you're trying to win game 7. My opinion is if you do it during the season and you've had success and your team expects that, and that's what's helped get you there. I don't know. Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, dance with the one that brought you there, right? One of the greatest quotes I heard recently, they were talking about Bochy, who just won the World Series. And I love this as a coach. It's like the guy said he's the best thermostat I've ever seen. Meaning he knows when to turn the heat on. He knows when to cool it down. So he knows when to get in someone's ass, and he knows just to leave the guy alone.
Yeah.
And that's part of, because at that level, you're coaching millionaires, egos, and all that good stuff. And I thought that was one of the greatest lines I've heard in a long time. He's the best thermostat. So you just like when we talk about Brady and Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, some of the greats that are able to slow the game down. That I think the coaches are allowed to do that too, or the great coaches.
Yeah, the best example of that NBA would be Phil Jackson.
Yeah,
how he knows how to treat Shaq different than Brian Shaw and treat everybody differently. Yet make it look equitable.
Yeah,
he knows who. Even a high school coach, you got to know who you can raise your voice to, who you can make run, who you got to
absolutely.
Leave alone. It's all like we know. Everybody's different. You yell at one kid, it fires them up. You yell at one kid, they shut down. Some kids, you put your arm around them and walk down the line and talk to them about it. So yeah, that's a huge thing that those relationships in coaching, I think, are something that are very underrated. How do you deal with people?
Yeah, exactly. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about college football and all of college sports. The portal and NIL. I'll start with Nick. Do you like either one of them? If which one do you think is worse? Which one is hurting the game that we grew up loving watching college sports? Which one is hurting the game more? Is it the portal or the NIL?
I think they go together, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, the portal, I mean, you can jump from one university to the next, another university. I mean, I was watching the North Carolina Duke game yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
Yeah, there you go. Go.
Talk about the white kid that went from Stanford.
Yeah. From Stanford to Notre Dame to North Carolina. He's 25 years old. 24, 25 years old. 26.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me. So
I
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. You lost a year in COVID, but I mean, when is it going to stop? So you were a freshman when COVID hit, so they're going to give you 2 more years?
And my question are his parents millionaires?
Apparently
Those are pretty expensive schools to go to.
Of course. Of course.
I don't think that. I mean, I know what baseball gets. I know football, you get a full ride and everything's paid for because they bring in more money. But
right.
I don't know about basketball. I would assume they get a lot more money than baseball players. But come on,
definitely get a lot.
Notre Dame and Carolina.
They do get a lot more money than baseball, but I mean, just the portal's hurting everything. NIL is. Some universities have more money in their bank than other universities, and you're just going to see the continuous. Yeah, it's going to be like free agency basically, which it already is. You're not going to know your college team every other year. You know, it's disappointing. You have to grow with the times. I don't like it. I'm old school when it comes to college sports, but I don't see it changing whatsoever.
Yeah, I think like for me being a Tar Heel fan for basketball, like watching the Tyler Hansbrough stay there for 4 years and watching Duke, our nemesis, Hurley, Leitner, 4 years, 4 Final Fours. Are you kidding me? Because they stayed together.
Well, Baycott's been there for 7 years, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he actually
he's about as old as DTR.
He is eligible to play next year.
That's crazy.
Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I think it's hurting college sports definitely. You know, I mean, to your point, you know, years ago, you knew who your guys were. For me, I think if you're going to have NIL, then if you are a basketball player, you have to stay for 2 years. Because the whole argument for so long was they don't have any money, they need to make money, blah, blah. Well, now you have the opportunity to make money. I just think with any college sport, I understand football, junior year, but for basketball, I think once you commit to a school, I don't think you can decommit. You sign that contract. What are we teaching these young athletes?
Yeah.
What are we?
Well, I think the whole thing, the transfer portal, I thought, just like NIL, was started with good intentions, but I think there needs to be some kind of circumstances, like hardships, you know, reasons for transferring. Not that, you know, I'm at a mid-level school and I went off, I'm going to go play at a better school, or it was designed for, like I said, hardships, or this coach recruited me and they left before I got there. I think that's a good reason to transfer. Having to go back home. I just think it was started with good intentions and it's gotten out of hand, and it's just like anything else. It's being taken advantage of, I guess would be a way to put it.
Yeah, I think it's gotten to where, well, if I'm not playing, I'll just go somewhere else. You know, or if I didn't get the D1 offer I wanted, but I went to D2 or I went to a smaller D1, just talking baseball, and I shove, I'm a pitcher now. Now I'm throwing 98, and now, you know, Arkansas calls or LSU calls or, you know, North Carolina calls and said, yeah, come over here, because he was at a smaller Division I school, and then just boom, go.
Do you think those kids that are transferring are honestly saying, "Oh, I really connected with that coach"? No, that's not why they're transferring. It's all it is.
Hey, move over that way.
We're transferring for that reason, Alex.
Better.
And the worst part is what it's doing, and I don't want to use my son as an excuse for this, but when he's in Nebraska playing at 19, and he's got a really solid chance to play, start in the outfield, and the other three outfielders are 25, 25, and 26, and he's 19.
That's a year younger than me.
That's yeah, exactly. And it's a different body. It's a completely different body. I mean, even the 26-year-old kid on North Carolina that's playing against maybe an 18 or 19-year-old kid at Duke, it's still a different body.
Yeah.
You're just stronger. You're just more physical at that point. You're probably more established up here in your brain too. Can handle the adversity better and handle the pressure better. But I can't stand it. And what I can't say it. Do it again, Alex, the coach of UConn, Gino Ariema. Thank you. I can never get his name right, but he came out and said, "Look, this doesn't affect us. The portal doesn't affect him at all. No one's leaving his school."
Well, if anything, he's getting that stud from a smaller school.
Exactly. So you could be a great coach at let's just say Indiana University for women's basketball. I don't know how relevant they are, but it's just Division I, Big Ten school, and that your best player is going to leave and go play for Gino. I mean, how do you even keep a job? Yeah. So my question would be, who benefits? Are we benefiting because what we just watched in the college football is we had Michigan, Texas, it was Washington, and who's the fourth school?
Alabama.
So we got 3 blue bloods right there. So now next year it's going to be Michigan again, Texas again, Alabama again,
UCLA,
yeah. Right. I mean, Ohio State was right
there. That Big Ten.
So now the Final Four in the next 15 years is going to be Kentucky, Carolina, Kansas, and UCLA. Why not? I'm not going to be upset about that, but the rest of the world isn't. They're not going to be happy about it, right? To always see these same teams, and that's what we've done. Why do we see the Yankees every year for
starting 12 team next year? Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like to see the format. I haven't seen the format. Have you guys seen the format with how that's going to happen? I mean, is this college football season going to extend into late January?
I think they'll play less regular season games,
shortening the regular season,
or some of those other bowl games are going to be playoff games.
Yeah.
But it's still going to extend it. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go on to, this is my take. I'll start with the NFL MVP. In baseball, I've always felt like the MVP goes to the best player. It's not, so the word most valuable, like Andre Dawson won the MVP for the Cubs. They were last place, right? But now we're talking the MVP for football is going to be Lamar Jackson. And I don't know why. If I look at numbers, I mean, is he valuable to his team? Absolutely. But is Allen valuable to the Bills? Is Purdy valuable to the Giants? And when you look at the numbers, I mean, we just talked about Jordan Love. Jordan Love had better numbers when it comes to passing. I mean, Lamar Jackson had 27 touchdowns, I believe, in 17 games in the regular season. And Allen had 50. So I like, who do you think the MVP should go to? Are we giving it to the best player? Because you could make an argument that the defensive player could get it. McCaffrey could get it. So why are everybody's saying he's hands down the MVP. Is he? With 2 playoff wins in his career?
So if it's not him, you think it's McCaffrey?
I think it's Purdy. I think it's Allen. If you look at Purdy, he was like number
one MVP
QB rating. Purdy had like 40 something touchdowns. His record in 2 years. I mean, we can't go back a year, but I don't think it's Lamar Jackson. But because if you're saying he's the most valuable to his team, obviously, well, if Purdy's not on the team, if Allen's not on the team, Dak could be MVP with his numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He's got way better numbers than Lamar. So I'm just wondering why. I mean, like if you had to win a game tomorrow, who are you taking a quarterback?
Is it the playoffs?
Yeah,
Yeah. Probably not Lamar then.
it's probably the other guy that's playing next Sunday, right?
Probably not Dak either. Yeah.
It's the other guy playing next Sunday.
Mahomes. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't think that I think that we always. Why do we vote for MVP before the season officially ends? If you have an incredible year and then you take your team and you do something special to win the championship, why are we voting before the championship?
Well, that's how it is in all sports, right? It's a regular season award.
So why not change it to most outstanding player and then you have an MVP?
Well, that's what, baseball, I think, is the best example of that. You have a most outstanding player and an MVP because a lot of times for some reason, I think in baseball, it comes up a lot more. Who's more valuable to their team versus who's the best player in the league, just like you were saying.
Yeah, it's always going to be the best numbers in baseball.
Yeah. So
always.
That doesn't mean you're the most valuable person to that team.
I mean, so let's list the last 4 American League MVPs. It's Ohtani, Judge, Trout. How'd they do in the playoffs? Angels didn't even make it. Did the Yankees make the playoffs when Trout or when Judge hit 60 or whatever? I don't think they did. 2 years ago? Maybe they did. I think they got ousted by the Indians.
I think first round, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Indians or Twins beat them in the first round.
Right.
So, I don't know. I have a hard time with that, but and going like kind of leapfrogging on that is like, or piggybacking on that, like, when's the next time we're going to see a non-quarterback win the Heisman? In our lifetime?
I think so.
You do?
Yeah.
It'll be a running back. They just did a 30 for 30 today, I think. It was on the DB from Michigan, Woodson.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Unless it's
he's the last defensive player to win it.
Like a DB or a Tim Brown receiver who returns kicks, also, does. But, yeah.
Yeah, but like the last 10 have been quarterbacks, I would think, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right, so off topic, I have a problem, and give me your take on this, is do you have smash burgers in California?
Yes. I don't know where there is one, but I believe we have them.
Okay, so you walk up and you order a burger and some fries, and you pay for it, and they give you that screen, and they ask you if you want a tip. I'm walking up. I'm getting it to go. They're asking me if I want a tip.
Have you ever wondered?
My concern is when that order gets completed, that transaction, that ticket goes back to the cook. Is it possible if I say no tip, that ticket goes back and says no tip? And he's spitting on my burger?
I don't think so.
And should I have to tip?
I don't think a fine establishment like Smash Burger would spit in your burger.
Really? Because
just for legal reasons.
But what do you know what TIPS stands for, right?
Just
what?
TIPS. It's no, not just to ensure proper service.
Right.
That's what TIPS means. So when you wait on me and you bring me the food, you take my order, you get my order right. If I need something, if I don't like something, you get it fixed. You give me good service, and I tip you at the end. Why am I tipping you before I even get my food?
Well, the ironic part is customer service has never been worse, and tips have never been more expected.
Yeah.
You know,
So that's just something that's been a thorn in me lately because I be, there's all the factors of I haven't gotten my food yet. I'm taking it to go. The price of that burger includes the price of the bag that they're going to put it in, or they're a bad business if they don't have that calculated in the price of the burger. The burger's $11 already by itself, and I got to tip this guy. And who's getting the tip? Are they pooling the tips? That's just something like what do you do? Because I always give 10%. When I'm at a restaurant, I give 20%. I like the tip.
it depends. I went to Starbucks today for a $5 coffee, and I pressed the $1 deal. Depends.
Why?
Yeah,
You guys are bougie.
'cause she's
That's,
eyeballing. She's eyeballing me when I'm doing it.
I don't know. I don't know where this came in. This pre-tip before you get anything, and you're even all they're doing is packaging it. Like
Yeah.
it must be this new woke thing that we're dealing with and expectations.
Everybody deserves a trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, last topic. We're out of here. Super Bowl prediction. Let's start with Nick, and I need you to give me who's going to win, why they're going to win, which would be
You want a why?
who would be the MVP.
I'm just going to give you who's going to win.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the 49ers. That's all I'm going to give you today.
All right.
49ers.
Not why. You're just going with a hunch. You just like
Going
it.
with the hunch. Underdog. Going with the hunch. I think they're playing better right now.
I'll go.
They beat my beloved Packers. I'm still talking.
So I'm not used to you expounding.
I told you no 4-syllable words toward me. No, yeah, 49ers.
49ers.
All right, Chiefs.
Games indoors at Reliant Stadium, Houston.
Yeah.
Allegiant. Not Reliant.
Allegiant, I think. Yeah, Nick.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
So,
yeah.
Chiefs 27-24.
Why?
Patrick, because I think, although the Niners are very good, I don't think they should have won the last 2 weeks. And the Chiefs are not the Lions or the Packers. They'll win those games that they should win. And I'm sick of rooting against Mahomes and him winning. I'm still not rooting for him. I hope it's the Niners as a Broncos fan because I'm had enough Chiefs, but I don't. The way they've been playing, I think the Chiefs' defense holds up.
Yeah.
And I think Chiefs score enough to win, yeah.
Okay. And you too, Jay?
Well, Alex and I were together the first time the Broncos, you were with us.
Aw, how cute.
But the Broncos won their first Super Bowl against your Packers.
It was there.
The beach house in Carlsbad, California.
Yep, I was there.
1997, maybe? And I told Alex, I said, the only way we beat the Packers is if Terrell Davis is the MVP. And he was. So I have that same feeling. The only way the Niners win is if McCaffrey's the MVP. The Chiefs had the 27th, maybe 22nd. They sound alike. Worst defensive run against the run in the league. So that's at the bottom. So I think that's why the Ravens should have won. They didn't. They ran 6 times against the Chiefs last week. The Ravens.
I know they didn't do it enough. I didn't know it was that.
The Ravens had the -- rushing offense in the league, and they ran 6 times. Their best running back, I can't think of his name, ran the ball twice.
Gus
the
Edwards.
First time they handed the ball off to him, he ran for 15 yards. They handed it one more time, and they were still in the game. They could have, the guy reaches the ball across tries to. But I think, I think they're both well coached. I think it goes to we hear a lot. They're new, they're young. Give them one more year. Like let's say the Packers, the youngest team in the league that got as far as they did. give them one more year, they'll have that experience. Well, Andy Reid, how many championship games has he coached? Was it 4 or 5 with the Eagles?
It's a lot
And
of
then
experience.
six in a row with the Chiefs. I mean, that's a lot. So he's been there, done that. So when you think about that, if Coach K is coaching, would they beat the Butler? Remember when they beat Butler in the last second shot? I mean, that was one of the worst final games I've ever seen. It was like, I think they combined for 80 points or something in that game, in a basketball game. But I think the coaching is phenomenal. I think if they can establish the run behind, what's the left guard's name? Stud for the Niners?
Yeah.
Left tackle.
I know
Big dude that was hurt. And then I love the linebacker with the long hair. I don't know. I like the Niners. I think they should have been in the Super Bowl last year. I think if Purdy doesn't get hurt, they beat the Eagles. But if I'm going to put a wager on it, I'm still betting the Niners. I like it. Are they laying 2? 1.5, 2?
I think it's 2. 2.5. Yeah, 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I think overall, I just think they're a better team. I think, and here's what drives me crazy, and I'll end with that, is like the Chiefs don't have a bunch of options to throw to. And why is Travis Kelce always so wide open? It was the same thing with near the end with the great New England run, where Brady didn't have a ton of great receivers, and Gronkowski was always wide open.
Well, they said the only person that could cover Gronk would be Gronk, so that might be why.
Yeah. Well, I get that, yeah, but you're telling me they can't get a strong safety type? You're telling me Dennis Smith from the Broncos couldn't guard Kelce, or Ronnie Lott from the Niners couldn't guard Kelce or Gronkowski? I mean, figure it out. I don't know. But that's what I like. So let's end on that. And then we're going to put this on YouTube. And
hey, real fast. Congratulations, Brisbane Ritter, on your commitment to Rocky Mountain College, Brisbane, out of Havre High School in Havre, Montana. Congratulations, buddy.
Attaboy, Briz.
Yep, 4.0 student. He was also the Class A middle linebacker, all-state middle linebacker. So, way to go, buddy.
Nice. And I would assume Class A there would be the higher class.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it's always moved around, but now we have 6A here. But when I played, 1A was the topper, the higher level. But yeah, I know that, it's a good league. And where is that again? Did you say Idaho?
No, he's out of Havre, Montana. Yep.
Montana, yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah,
congrats. Yep. Also, Bryce Daniels out of Keystone Heights High School, class of 27. He's got an offer from 3 schools: UCF, FAU, and I'm drawing a blank on the third. But keep working hard, big guy. You're doing great. And then
was it App State?
Yes, thank you.
Appalachian State, yeah.
Yes, Appalachian State. And then Camden Goforth, class of 26, out of McMinn County High School, just was at Prospect Day at Vanderbilt. So keep working hard, guys.
Nice.
You guys are much deserving. All honor roll students, all 3.7 plus GPAs. Just keep doing your thing.
Awesome.
Oh,
Congrats.
one more. Sorry. And Caleb Turner. He's got 13 offers right now.
That's
So
it.
he's still trying to make a decision. And
25 or 26?
24.
He's a senior this year.
Yep, senior this year. And he is on the wrestling team. I don't have the final, but his team was wrestling in the state championship yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that post of him getting ready, doing like
Yeah.
flip and stuff.
Yep. So
I don't wrestle that guy.
no. So congratulations to all of you.
He can do flips at that
Yep.
size. Wow.
Yep. So keep working hard.
I'm gonna put my money that he won.
So and Cameron Melvin out of North Carolina, he's going to be doing some hard work here shortly. So we'll keep you updated.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Thanks for that,
let's
Nick.
enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully that rain's not coming here. We got our tryouts starting tomorrow for varsity baseball. So hopefully we can get that in and get our team going. And I think our second game is against, I think they're third or fourth ranked Hamilton High School. So that'll be a nice test.
Okay, and athletes, to quench your thirst, get you hydrated. Visit Acid Rainwater. Get your Acid Rainwater. It's B12 injected. You can find them on Instagram at Drink Acid Rainwater. Also, Peralta Gloves at Peralta Gloves, and Birdman Bat at Birdman Bats. You can find us on Instagram at Bloodline Sports AZ, on Twitter at Bloodline Sports, which is now X. You can find us on TikTok at Bloodline Sports, and you can find us on YouTube at BSN Bloodline Sports Network.
All right, guys. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Enjoy the
Yep.
Super Bowl.
See ya.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.